Hello and welcome to RestoCycle. We have a little MiniTech for you here. This is for the Honda CBX guys, but also all of you that like to fool around with the double overhead cam Hondas from 79 to 83, I guess it was. They stopped making them. So on these cylinder heads, we have these cam caps, and these, of course, are line bored and specific to these heads. That's this part here, which carries the upper bearing for the camshafts, and this is obviously a pretty important part. These are bolted together at the factory and then line bored with some very super duper expensive fancy gear, and they're pretty hard to replicate, so they're important. But one of the problems is, I don't know exactly what the malfunction was, but these bolts, for whatever reason that Honda specified, turned out to be way more fragile than I think they intended. So what happens is they snap. And so there's a couple things that we think are good practice when we're going in here. We have found these things broken on more than a few occasions. They look fine, they're sitting there, and so while you're in here for a valve adjustment or anything like that, it's a pretty good idea to just put your 10mm wrench on here. And now these have a torque spec, but we don't use it. We do it by feel. We just use a 1/4 inch socket handle and just a thumb and a couple of fingers on it, and we're just going to feel all of these and make sure that none of these bolts are broken, because last one of these we did before this bike, 2 of these were broken. So obviously that's going to affect the tension on the cam bearing, and that could cause premature wear and other problems. So I'm just going to run down these, and I'm just going to check them all and just make sure with this kind of light 2-finger touch on the torque wrench on the socket handle that none of these are broken. All right, so that's thing one. Thing two is, if you're really feeling ambitious, you might consider replacing these altogether. This is a bag of grade 12 high-strength socket head cap screws. These are put together by our friend Gene Coutonlenk. Gene, sorry if I just mangled your name, but AKA Gene Sound on many of the forums that really are dedicated to the double overhead cam bikes. These are very strong socket head cap screws. I'd say if the only single drawback to these is that they're not flanged like the stock nuts, and they do need a washer. And so you have, just the excitement of having a washer in place here, where there's a little bit of potential to drop them in exciting places. So you have to be a little more careful using these. But if you're in any doubt, or if you just don't want to think about them ever again, get a hold of Gene Sound on the cb750c.com or on the 1100F board, and other people we can get you in touch with him. He'll sell you a set of these very reasonably. Replace these ones while you're into your double overhead cam Honda and never worry about them again. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.